Welcome everyone. This is Adi from Fringe Worlds. The mic. Good start. Welcome everyone. This is Adi from Fringe Worlds. We're working, still developing Mon RPG. And today I want to introduce you to that brand new discovery and reveal to you the Spike engine. I think we've playtested that last Friday. It works. This is the system that is going to support the entire game. This is the core resolution mechanic. And it's an engine designed to accommodate all sorts of tasks, endeavors, challenges, travel, combat, social interactions, you name it. It's a simple system with some subtleties added to it that make it somewhat how do you call how do you call make it somewhat modular. All right, modular. So the idea here is we've gotten rid of so much things that we thought were making the system better. Back in the days, we had. This is, I think, the fifth or sixth system we come up with. Just working on things, testing them, discarding them, improving them, and finally we've come up to the conclusion that simpler is better, but not just primitive, right? Not just simple for the sake of it. Simple with with an attitude, right? So over the course of the development, we've simplified things a lot. The last system was very powerful, very detailed, very strong, but so cognitive. So the load was just too heavy. Like we had to calculate the difficulty. We had to calculate the success margin, add modifiers. Calculate the impact, and from the impact we would know the number of bands that are the success basically achieved. So it just the number of calculations was just over the top. Overall, if it was to design let's say an invisible engine hidden behind a video game, like that would be awesome. But here we're humans at the table. We role play. We want the system to help us tell a better story, and that's it, and move on. So that's what we've accomplished, I think, at this point with the Spike engine. We roll. There's no more like your base attribute gives you a base attribute modifier, and you roll your dice. Add the modifier, remove the difficulty modifier. Nothing like that anymore. You roll the number of dice that corresponds to your base attribute and skills, and you look for matches, and the number of matching sets is the number of spikes, and that's your success. That's the number of bands you remove from the endeavor. So here we have you build your dice pool, right? With your might, you get 1d12 per might. Your might is your character level, basically. You can multi-class, so if you're a level 1 rogue and a level 1 spy, you would be a level 2 sort of character and get a might 2, right? So you would roll 2d12s for that. Then you add your base attribute, the base attribute that makes sense to use to do to do that thing you want to accomplish. So it's either toughness, strength, resolve, intelligence, spirit, stuff like that. And it ranges. So might ranges from 1 to 3. Your character can only level up to level 3. Your base attributes range from 1 to 6. So you roll might plus base attribute d12s. So from basically 2, because you might 1 minimum and base attribute 1 minimum, so basically 2 d12 minimum to up to 9 d12s. And you add your skill level to it. But skills are d6s. And skills range from 1 to 3. So you roll from a minimum of 2 d12 to a maximum of 9 d12 and 3 d6s. Because skill range from 0 to 3. So that makes for like pools that can go quite, you can roll quite a number of dice. But bear with me. Overall, it ends up being quite simple because at the end, there's no maths, barely any maths involved. All you're meant to do is to look for sets of matching dice, right? A double 2, a double 6, a triple 9, a quadruple 12, So, and a spike. A spike is the size of a set minus 1. So that means that a double whatever, is 1 spike. A triple is 2 spikes. A quadruple is 3 spikes, right? You get me? We're together here. So it's just mentally you're only looking for visual clues. You're not making basic mathematical calculations. You're only looking for signs, and if they look the same numbers, they're a match. They form a set, and that's a spike. And that's all there is. So you roll the dice, and there is that direct visual, I'd say even visceral sort of like relationship to symbols, right? Numbers are not anymore numerical values per se. When it comes to spikes, at least, they are symbols. And you look for matching symbols, and depending on the number of matching symbols you have a spike, and it's a success, right? So each spike counts for one success, let's say. Then the little subtlety to it is that you look for the face value of that set, and that gives you the height value of that set, of that spike, right? If you roll a double 2, that's a spike of a height of 2. If you roll a double 6, that's a spike of a height of 6, right? If you roll a triple 3, that's 2 spikes of a height of 3. So, what do you do with when you have like a double 2, a double 4, and a double 6? When it comes to the height, the overall height of your roll, of your result, you pick the highest height of the highest face value, the face value of the highest set, right? So if you roll a double 2 and a double 4, you've got 2 spikes at height 4. And that's how you evaluate basically the quality of your roll, by the number of spikes and the height of the highest spike, right? So a task has a difficulty which is of two. It has two sides to it. You have the spike difficulty and the height difficulty. So the spike difficulty would be the number of spikes you need, the minimum spikes number of spikes you need to achieve a success, all right? And each spike beyond that is extra spike, right? And the height difficulty is the minimum height of your roll required for you to succeed, right? So we could compare spikes to the quantity of, the quantity and the height of the quality of your achievement, right? So let's say you're running, you roll 3 spikes, you cover that distance, right? It's 3 spikes will mean like 3 bands of progress, but the height would determine like at what kind of with what kind of ease, like you how cool you looking you are when you do that feat, right? When you complete that task. So let's say we have a difficulty 6 over there. Difficulty 1-6 would mean you need one spike of a height of 6 minimum to succeed, right? So if you roll a double 2, that's one spike, but it's height 2. So you'd need to roll a double 6 at least to succeed. So you can see here, and yeah, you can see that skill dice, they can only height you up to 6. You could roll. You cannot roll be above 6, right? With the skill dice. So what's the idea here is that skill mostly boost secure your lower height range, and they boost the number of spikes, because skill dice D6s have more chances to get a double on skill dice is higher. 2 D6s together have a higher chance to net a pair of numbers or a triple, right? So there's a neat interaction here between D12s and D6s, because you look for pairs or triples or whatever, for spikes between the bunch, right? Between the whole. So if you have like a difficulty, here we go back to this box here. If you have a difficulty of 3-4, which is like an incredibly, I think, difficult thing to achieve. It depends on your stats, right? But so a 3-4 would require of you 3 spikes of height 4 minimum to succeed, right? So 3 spikes could be a quadruple 4 or 6 or 7, whatever. This be 4 or above, or it could be 3 doubles, a double 1. A double 3, and a double 4 or above, right? Because you keep, and like the height of the roll is the face value of the highest set, right? And so if you don't meet that minimum spike requirement, minimum spike not met, you fail. And a spike determines the height, right? So if you roll no double or triple, if you roll no matching set, there is no height to your roll as well. So the bare requirement is to roll spikes. If your minimum spike requirement is met, and the spike difficulty is met, but the minimum height is not, then you succeed at a cost. All right. If let's say we go back to that 1-6 difficulty, you need one spike. You roll a double 3. So you have one spike, just as the difficulty needs of you, 1, but the 6 is not met, the height is not met. You roll the double 3. So in that case, you would succeed at a cost, right? So that's the basics of it. Now you have like endeavors that may require multiple bands to be removed. You remove one band per spike of the minimum height required, right? Or you may succeed at cost, and I don't know, like you sprain an ankle, or you do something, you harm yourself. It costs you endurance, costs you pressure, health, whatever. But you achieve what you wanted to achieve. At least you get the spike, but it costs you something. So excess height grants edge. So if you have a difficulty of 1-6, let's say you roll a double 6, well, you net a 1-6, so just barely what you needed to succeed, but you have no excess height. Had you roll a double 12, you'd have a 6 edge. Right, it's your height minus the height you rolled minus the height difficulty, and so the net height of your roll becomes your edge. you've got an edge on it. In that case, you'd got 6 points of edge. And this is a currency that you spend on stunts, right? The more edge you have, the bigger the stunt you can buy. And the stunts are listed per type of endeavor, right? So you have general tasks and scene endeavors, like go over obstacles and cover a distance or stuff like that. You have lists of stunts for combat stunts. You have travel stunts, social interaction stunts. And these are generic lists that they are scalable. The same stunt at tier 1, at creature scale, does stuff. But the same stuff at the same stunt at warband army scale grants you like proportionally bigger effects. Mathematically, mechanically, the same procedure applies. The number of edges gives you access to certain stunts, and depending on the scene scale at which the story is taking place, that stunt has an impact that is correlated to that to the narrative logic of that scene scale, right? At what height, at what scope? What is the scope of the scene we are talking about here? You know, we're talking it's the story of a creature, a warband, an army, a titan, right? So let's what did we have here? Yeah, the list of combat stunts. For instance, if you net 2 edges. So when it comes to combat, a quick side note on combat, it's opposed rolls. You roll for you roll might plus close combat d12s plus melee or marksmanship d6s, and your opponent does the same. Then their score becomes your spike and high difficulty, just as is yours to them. Yeah. So whoever nets more spikes wins the exchange. If the number of spikes is if there's a tie between the number of spikes, then it's the height. It's your height that will resolve ties. So if both combatants roll 1 spike each, we have a tie. But if you rolled a double 8, it will be better than their double 6, let's say, and you net a 2 edges on them. And with that 2 edges, you can buy a position stunt. You can see over there, position stunt. You gain +1 reach next round. You can stack it 2 times. You can do a feint. I'm not going to take you through what is reach. Reach is basically depends on your sight. It's positional advantage. It gives you +1 height. So if you reposition or if you feint, you get that advantage on the next round, right? You get +1 height per net reach, right? Bigger opponents have bigger reach and stuff like that. But anyway, you can see edge, a 4 edge cast stunt, second breath, recover 1 endurance, because you lose endurance per each round of exertion, right? So combat is exerted, of course. A 6 edge stunt, disrupt after the opponent rolls, reduce their spike count by 1. Edge 8 cast stunt, exploit weakness, ignore 1 armor. And 10 plus edge, overwhelm, combat major combat shift. I'm still looking to finalize what edges are doing, because I need to be careful to make them mechanically sound, balanced, but at the same time they need to mean something at every scale of the game, at every scene scale, right? Creature, warband, army, and titan. So it's a nice riddle. I like that. I think I don't want to have a stunt list different for each scale. I want the one stunt, a generic stunt list for each type of endeavor, right? So for combat, for travel, like an edge does something else. It's mechanically it's mostly the same effect, but the fluff, the flavor is different. Like stunt, stunt 2, it's gain position. 4, regroup. 6, break terrain. Find a weak path. Open the route. When you have sin endeavors, is organize effort, recover strength, disrupt position, break resistance, break through. Social interactions. So same, like social interactions, they work exactly like combat. Opposed checks. If you have more spikes, you inflict composure damage instead of health damage. If there is a tie, you resolve it with the height. If you have more height than your opponent, so if there's a tie and you have more height, you inflict 1 band of damage. Yeah, the difficulty, like it's kind of like in the Year Zero engine. If the difficulty is met, like that applies, that avails for 1 success, right? So social interactions, if you have more height, you gain some edge, you buy that stunt. So seize the floor, compose yourself, unsettle, exploit weakness, turn the situation. So you can see that we have we'd have a system that is quite, it's because you look for symbols, you look for pairs, triples, and there is no maths. The little maths is involved with height. You look at height. Okay, my best set is height 8. Okay, difficulty was height 6. I have 2 edge. I pass, right? So let's do a couple things. Let's say your skill might 1, so your level 1 character. You have 2 strengths. You're trying to lift something, and you've got athletics. You're good at you're athletic. Yeah. So we roll, and what do we have? We have a 1. It's alone. We have 2 4s. So we have a pair. We have a spike 4, a 7, and a 9. So here we netted a 1 4. 1 4 is generally the minimum difficulty. So let's say that you succeeded. Let's say that you are might 1, you're weak, like you're not very, charismatic, and you have no skill in, in communication or empathy. And empathy, let's say, trying to read that stranger if is he lying. So you roll your might plus charisma. So you can see that the odds here were not really in your favor. So it's basically 8% chance here to net a spike with only 2 d12s. But let's say that it's the same, but somewhat, you're level 1. You're not very charismatic, but you're super educated. You have a lot of communication. You have 3 d6s skill dice, right? So I think that here you'll see the advantage of what skills can do. Like you see, here we have double 2 and a 4. So we have 1 spike and 2 spikes. And it's your roll is a 2-4 because the highest spike is a 4. So that's a 2-4, which is pretty good. So you can see that the skills really have an impact on spikes. On spikes count more than heights count, right? Because let's say you're level 3, you are strong, you have 4 in strength, and you're super athletic. You're trying to lift that boulder. So here we have a 1, it's alone, 2 4s. So that's a 1, 5, 6 are alone. The 6. So we have 4, a 1 4, 2 6, 3 10, a 4 10 because the triple counts for 2 spikes, right? So we have a 4 10 here, which is an amazing result, right? Let's roll that one again. It's fun. So we have a might 3, We have 4 in strength. We are super athletic. Oh, I rolled no. How do I do that? Up. Voilà. And let's roll this. So here we have the one. I'd advise people to go from bottom to bottom up. So we have a pair of 1, so 1 spike, 1 3, 1 8, 1 6, 2 4. So 1 2 4. And what was it? I lost it. I should see it. I think it gets some using to you gotta get used to it too, because big pools. Okay, there's a lot of symbols to read there. Yeah, that's part of the learning curve within a system. The thing is that here you're not trying to learn math. You're just trying to be more efficient at looking for patterns, right? So if let's say we roll this, we have whatever. Oh, okay. The 3 is alone. 1 3, 2 4s. So it's this is a 2 8, right? We have 2 4s and 2 8s. 1 pair of 4, 1 pair of 8s. 1 spike here, 1 spike here, and we take the best height. That was a 2 8. Allez, last one. Let's say this. So 3, we have a pair of 3. That's 1 3. The 2 is alone. The 6 is alone. 5 is alone. Voilà, and that's a 1 3, right? You still net some progress. The quality of your roll wasn't the best. 3 is generally below. The normal difficulty would be height 4 requirement. We have a cat. She wants to go out. Sorry. Allez. Hop. Voilà. So this is what we've got. There's a little thing I wanted to add about that today is that how do you account for weapons, tools, mounts, transports, stuff like that? So weapons work just like tools, and mounts during travel, let's say, or chases. You have they're of certain quality, you have or size, it depends. Like for weapons, you have like unarmed, so no height. Basically, tools and stuff give you height bonus to your roll. So by definition, they work only if you already net a spike, right? So tools do not increase so much your chances to achieve something. They will increase the quality of it if you are good at it already. So they don't make you a master. You need to be a master already to use the tools, right? If you have 2 fighters, if it's a tie, then the height of the roll comes into play, and the height of the roll will be modified by your weapon. So the weapon won't increase the damage output, but it will increase your chances to output damage. And the same for tools. If you are unskilled and you have a good tool, the chances are not much better to get. Of course, you'll get a bonus to your height. So if you're lucky enough to have to net 1 spike at least, that spike will have a +3 in its height. So I think here we've managed to do something quite cool. Is that the tool or the weapon doesn't precede in the value of that tool doesn't precede over that the value of your inner skills, of your competency, of your aptitudes and attributes. And I think that's super neat because that makes it just doesn't break things. It doesn't make you want to have a bigger weapon just for the sake of it because it's more damage. It's not more damage. It's more chances to apply damage. Because a bigger weapon is more reach. It's more. It gives you more maneuverability, more room to play with. And same with the tool. Even if you don't have the tool, but you're an expert at the thing, you can still manage something. If you have the right tool, that will just only increase the quality, but not the fact of a success or failure. So there are What did we have here? Yeah, I wanted to go the edges. Well, we went through the edges. I showed you that. The stunts, the various stunts for everything. I think we've covered it for today. I will update you on that. I look forward to hearing your comments. The Spike engine, I think will fare far and wide, and it will do work. The playtest last Friday went very well. It took 5 minutes to explain. You look for symbols. There's no maths, minimal math. Really, like the players really enjoyed that. It's fun to look for symbols and patterns. A lot more fun than just do additions and whatever, subtractions and all that, and in the heat of the moment, right? So that is where we're at now. Let me know in the comments what do you think of that. This is nothing groundbreaking. It's there are systems that have similar mechanics already, and they've explored similar systems like the One Roll engine from Rain, an amazing role-playing game. Of course, the Year Zero engine by Free League have similarities. Here, I think what we've managed to achieve that's interesting is that tools come up as height bonus, not raw bonus to your dice, and height undo ties, and skill dice are d6s and not d12s, so they help you achieve higher spike counts, but they don't really push your height. Right, so they secure the bottom floor, but they don't really help you to. The maximum height is really due to your might and to your base attribute, right? So because if you, I'll stop here. All right. So subscribe, comment, like, join the Discord, check out the Patreon page. We're looking to hire talented illustrators who would be into drawing creatures, character, environments, all dinosaurs and mutants, all in the style of we want the game to be the vibe of either like heavy metal, 1980s, Moebius, Philippe Drouillet, or people like is it Philippe Eng and Sterte, Linnea Sterte. She is amazing. She's one of the contemporary illustrator. She's amazing. So we look for check her out. She just released her last comics, Kingdom of Spheres or something like that. I just ordered it. I can't wait to read that. So if you're into that kind of illustration style, reach out. We're looking to build a team, right? So it's going to take a while before we have who it takes, right? We'd be particularly vigilant to give the game a visual, a powerful and emblematic visual style. So anyway. I hope you guys are having fun, whatever you're doing. I hope you're driven and happy with what you're doing. And I wish you all the best. I'll see you on the next Dev Diary, and be on the lookout for more Mon RPG news. Take care. Bye bye.